Hi guys, thanks for joining us again on the channel. So, there's a reason I haven't talked about this one until now. It's not because I didn't want to talk about it, but because I needed to get it right. And now, the wait's over. But before we get into that, don't forget to check this exclusive discount for it. You can find the link in both the video description and the top comment below. Now, let's not waste any more time and jump right into the details. Starting things off, our first reviewer gives us their perspective.
This reviewer had the opportunity to work with two very similar router models, both representing a new standard in Wi-Fi, designed for larger homes and the growing number of connected devices. The experience provided a clear look at the benefits and quirks of this next-generation technology. Our client found that setting up the first device in a large, single-story house was incredibly simple, taking only minutes to get online even when reusing the old network's name and password. The second, slightly different model proved a bit more finicky. Its setup, which the instructions pushed towards a mobile app, stalled completely. A quick switch to the traditional web browser setup on a computer resolved the issue, and from there it was just as easy as the first. A notable quirk in the physical design of both units involves the large, wing-like antennas. They must be snapped firmly onto the main body, but this client found they detach with the slightest touch, which is a minor annoyance when moving the device. Wall mounting was also a challenge with one model. Its thick rubber feet made it difficult to align the mounting holes and required screws to stick out further from the wall than usual. Once running, performance was solid but not mind-blowing. In a challenging environment with concrete walls, the signal was much more stable than the older system it replaced, but the range wasn't dramatically better, and some unexpected signal dropouts occurred. A strange issue also arose where the internet provider's modem detected the new hardware and reactivated its own Wi-Fi, creating a conflicting network that required a call to tech support to disable. Overall, this type of router is a worthwhile, user-friendly upgrade for those with older, problematic networks, but the performance leap might not be as significant for everyone.
Opening things up, our first reviewer gives us their take.
This reviewer decided it was time for a major home network overhaul after upgrading from a sluggish DSL service to a much faster 100 Mbps cable connection. The primary goal was to maximize the new speeds and significantly improve Wi-Fi coverage throughout a 1700 SQ FD house and its surrounding property, particularly for potential outdoor security cameras that the old system couldn't reach. After installing the final piece of the new setup, the performance uplift from this router was immediate and impressive. Where the previous network struggled, this device delivered the full internet speed wirelessly to mobile devices, consistently clocking in at over 117 Mbps. Most importantly for our reviewer, the Wi-Fi range saw a massive boost. The signal is now strong and reliable throughout the entire house, the garage, and even extends well past the front door, achieving a key objective without needing any extenders. From a user experience standpoint, the setup was a breeze. The device itself has a striking, futuristic look that reminds one of something from a sci-fi show and feels quite sturdy. Using the companion mobile app, this client was guided through the entire process, including a necessary firmware update in just a few minutes. For a standard home network configuration, it was incredibly simple. However, the experience wasn't flawless. This reviewer noted a significant design issue with the USB ports. They are placed so close together that using two standard-sized USB drives at the same time is impossible. Furthermore, there was no information in the box about how to configure these ports, forcing a search for the full manual online. Despite these minor annoyances, the raw performance and extended coverage made this router a worthwhile upgrade, feeling like a solid investment that finally unleashes the full potential of a modern internet connection.
Excellent. Let's find out what our next reviewer has to share about their experience.
This reviewer is incredibly happy with this router, especially after a frustrating experience with a different brand. The previous router kept dropping the internet service, which was unacceptable. Our reviewer had been using a much older router, a real workhorse, but it finally gave out. Deciding to stick with the same brand proved to be a good choice. The initial setup was straightforward, though not quite as polished as it could be. This client feels the software interface could use a serious update to feel more modern and intuitive. However, the router's performance is where it truly shines. With over 20 wireless devices constantly connected at home, everything runs smoothly and reliably. The ISP speed is consistently delivered, even through multiple walls. Several computers get great speeds, even with numerous smart home devices running concurrently. plus another PC being used for teaching from a separate room. This client has even connected a dual SSD enclosure as a family cloud, which works surprisingly well despite the slightly clunky interface. One of the biggest surprises was how cool this router runs, especially considering it has a built-in fan. Overheating was a problem with previous routers. The high price is the biggest drawback, and longevity is definitely expected for the cost. The reviewer is confident it will last based on past experience with the same brand. While others seem to love the Star Wars-inspired design, our reviewer would have preferred something more like the USS Discovery. A later update stated that the router continues to be rock solid. However, this client removed a star from his initial review because the manufacturer is now pushing their inferior app on their customers and have discontinued the Genie app, which, while clumsy, offered much more information. This reviewer feels strongly that the company should try to follow the example set by another well-known brand in the market and make their apps more user-friendly.
And that's it. If this video helped, hit like and subscribe for more. Let me know what you think down below. Thanks for watching.